Hello, boys and girls. This is Module 3, Topic 3, Lesson 3, A Formal Affair. In this lesson, you are going to learn how to solve two-step equations using just the equation, so not using a bar model, not using a double number line. And also later on, you will learn how to solve two-step inequalities with just the numbers and also using a real-world example. As you see on the screen, there's an example of where we're going. Alrighty, let's get started with the getting started. Go ahead and turn there if you haven't already. I'll go ahead and read. It says, recall that to solve an equation means to determine the value or values of a variable that makes the equation true. Remember, variables are just the letters that stand for numbers. In the process of solving equations, you must always maintain equality. If you haven't already, underline that note. Always maintain equality using the properties of equality. Now go ahead and turn your attention to the table on your page. This may look confusing at first, but let's break it down to understand what it means. So look at the first row. It says the addition property of equality. And for all numbers, A, B, C, ... So an example, if A is equal to B, if A is equal to B, then A plus C and B plus C are also equal. Notice what happened to those two equations. All they did was add C and add C to both sides. And that is the addition property of equality. They added C to both sides, not just one, to both sides to maintain the equality. And the same goes for the subtraction property of equality. If A is equal to B, then A minus C is also equal to B minus C. They subtracted C from both sides to maintain equality. And the same is true for the multiplication property of equality. If you multiply both sides by C, they are still equal. And same for division. If you divide both sides of the equation by C, then they can remain equal. So essentially, what you do to one side, you must do to the other. Feel free to write that note down. All right, now let's look at questions 1 and 2. Question 1 reads, solve 2x plus 6 is equal to 13 using a double number line model. And number 2 says, explain which properties of equality you used in the process of solving the equation. So I'm gonna, in a second, allow you to pause and solve on your own, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you a starting point because this was the last lesson. So you always want to start with 0 on your number line, and then you can place your expression. If you want to place your expression somewhere else that's quite not like mine, that is okay, as long as it's in the correct spot. Alrighty, so now that you've got that set up, you are going to take about 3 to 4 minutes to solve and also explain which properties you use. You can even list them. This is the first property I use. This is the second property I used. Okay, go ahead and pause here. Alrighty, now that you've had about 3 to 4 minutes to work, I'm going to go ahead and show you my work. Alrighty, and here is my work. I had to get rid of those scribbles. As you can see, my first step was to subtract from both sides. I subtracted 6 from both sides, and that got me 7 is equal to 2x. and that is annotated in blue. Then my second step was to divide by 2 because I've got 2 x's. I want to know what 1x was, so I divided both sides by 2. That left me with x is equal to 3 and 5/10. So that property was the division property of equality in orange. Alrighty, take a couple seconds to get these notes down. And this concludes the Getting Started activity. I will see you in the next video.